Hey there, what's up, guys? Welcome back. And we're taking on Arkansas State now here at BYU. Arkansas State. I don't really know how much comment I have about this team. I'm not quite sure why we're playing against this team, right? Again, assuming that we're looking at reputation is determined by actual American college football. Arkansas State is pretty far down on the list of teams that I would consider to be interesting to watch, but we'll see what happens. It might be different with Football Manager. We're back home again here. As you can see, the lovely glowing green texture of Lavelle Edwards Stadium, which is totally not true or real. And I am keeping an eye here on the quality of the video, hoping that we don't stutter too much. We don't have Aldana out there playing a striker, so we have rotated because this team is not very good. That is their team. Here's what was his name there? Corlson, is that right? We'll take a look here. Yeah, Cornelson, sorry, is our striker here who is getting his first real start. And so we'll see how it goes with Cornelson up there. And as I said, the thing that I'm really kind of concerned about and looking at is the little bit of stuttering I'm seeing here as I'm looking at the clock. Here we go. Now we're picking up. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but we'll see what happens. And we want to see more highlights. Of course, we don't want it to be necessarily too quiet. So this is what happens, right, as you know, in one of these saves where here's Rocha with the shot from the free kick, and that one hits off the top crossbar and is knocked out. This is what happens with this save where our ability to make transfers is very, very restricted. We end up having to play players I normally wouldn't. And that means that things are very, very interesting, even if you have, super, ultra, mega tactic like we're supposedly using. Williams with the ball now over to Cook, back to Silvas. He finds Meza over to Rocha, over to Silvas, back to Williams. Rocha, I'm not sure how to say his name. Up to Cook, back to Williams again. Williams goes back to Korn, and I'm always worried when we do that. It's over to Alpha Doe here on the other side, and he finds Meza, and he knocks it forward for Rocha. There it is. And that one is saved by the keeper and knocked back by yet another Korean player playing at this level. I'm not quite sure why we're seeing so many Korean new gens being created, but that's kind of the way that it is. Interesting stuff that's happening. That was not a bad attempt by Rocha, but he needs to find out once again where the goal is and actually knock the ball into the goal. Daly passes to Garcia, back to Daly, and this is knocked out of the danger area, but it goes back to Daly over to Silvas now. Silvas penetrates a little bit onto the side and then shoots, and that's going to be off. Interesting day here on a personal note for us because we're having our door and our front shutters painted, which means that our pets, dog and cat, are downstairs. And as they say that, of course, Jorge Alberto Garcia scores on what was a pretty good move, and that's his first goal of his career for BYU. And it's 1-0 BYU. So yeah, our dog and cat are downstairs, and you might hear a little bit of whining from the dog as we move along. After this is done, I'm probably going to go downstairs, spend a little bit of time with them, and make sure that they know that they are loved. We just don't want them to run out the front door and get hit by a car. Alpha Doe with the ball here brings it up out of the back, and he looks for Daly. That's a really poor pass. Back to Doe. And Doe will pass this one back to Korn, and we're unable to penetrate. This goes over on the other side to Williams. And Williams takes it up forward over to Bowden, to Meza. Meza over to Daly, and Daly knocks this one, lobs it forward, looking for nobody. I was going to say for Aldana, but he's not on the pitch. Garcia knocks this back, looks for Cornelson, and finds him, and Cornelson knocks this one into the 10th row. And, it was good. It was an idea, I suppose. We'll go with it. But, not a great job there, Cornelson. Williams to Garcia, back to Williams, over to Cook. Cook with it now, looks forward, lumps it forward, looking for somebody. I don't know, is that Rocha he's looking for there? I'm not entirely sure. And it ends up with them over back to Alpha Doe, who corrals it, takes control of it over to Cook, then to Silvas, then to Meza, up to Bowden. Bowden with it finds Daly on the side, back to Bowden. And Bowden sort of tries to maybe lob Cobb, the keeper, and ends up knocking it just straight into his arms. Still 1-0 BYU, and you would think that we'd play better against this team, but I worry that we have a lot of players who are inconsistent or who just don't have the ability to play at this level. So it'll be an interesting match. Meza with it now over to Cornelson. Cornelson back to somebody over to Daly. I didn't see his name. It was Meza the whole time. Now Cornelson with a shot, and that's a really poor save by Cobb, but Cornelson ended up being offside. I guess he was marginally offside. I didn't really see that. I wasn't looking so closely at what the striker was doing. Rocha with kind of a weird attempt there from an angle. I'm not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Passes it back to Williams. Williams over to Rocha. Rocha takes this one forward and shoots and blasts it over everybody's head again. We've seen a lot of that here, haven't we? 1-0 BYU. I'm guessing we probably have really good XG, and we're about to tell the players how good they're doing. But this actually isn't a very good match by us. It looks pretty ugly. Daly with the ball now. And Daly crosses it into Meza, and he finds Bowden. Bowden should shoot, and does, but that is knocked out for a corner. So a little bit of that sort of scrambling, defense by Arkansas State. I haven't taken a look to see sort of what type of formation they're playing. I wouldn't be surprised though if they had everybody, in the back and they were trying to do their best just to counter everything that's going on. I mean, you can see 1, 2, 3 players around Bowden, and yeah, that one's clearly knocked back by that defender. Not sure what his name was. I guess we could look if we wanted to. And yeah, well, it went away quickly, but you can see that, yeah, they have pretty defensive setup there as expected. Go back to the dressing room and say, don't get complacent out there, whatever. I know it's bad to do whatever your assistant manager says, but that's what we're going to do because we just do what we do. We're going to put Gallagher back in there in for Alpha Doe, and we'll probably take Silvas out, put Chavez in. Oh, there goes the dog. So the dog is definitely alive. That's good to know. And we'll put Mutenya in for a Daly, and we'll see how this goes. This is going to be fun, playing some of the scrubs and some of the guys who don't normally play. You might have noticed that I'm not quite as deeply engaged and involved with who these players are. I would actually love to be, but unfortunately, I know probably as well as you do that this is likely to be a very temporary save. We're going to go back to BYU, but we don't have time yet because we have another highlight right away. Rocha with this corner, and it looks like Gallagher was shoved, but he didn't even fall down. He just stood there. That's a ridiculous penalty to give. We need to improve these penalty animations, I think. I want to see him at least go to the turf. I mean, he didn't do anything. He just sort of stood there, right? So if I go in there and I just stand there close to the box and then they're going to call a penalty on the other team, it's ridiculous, right? Of course, there's going to be a little bit of shoving and pushing. Chris Gallagher ends up taking the penalty himself. I'm not quite sure why we have him on that list, but I guess he was there. He's the one who was fouled, and he scored his first goal. It's 2-0 BYU. And, of course, we don't get to see the replay of what caused the penalty. Instead, we see the replay of the penalty itself, which is really boring. But that's just a football manager thing, just football manager things. Rocha with another free kick that goes over everybody's head. We would be very, very good if the goal were up here somewhere, up at the top of the stands. Here's Garcia with it now. Garcia passes to Rocha. Rocha over to Cornelson, passes to Meza. And I mean, I don't know why he hesitates there to get that shot off. This is what happens when you play with teams like this. Oh, we'll see a replay of this. This will be nice. Like I said before, when we do the next save that's coming, I'm still waiting, I've said this, for the Around the Globe Mega Pack to be finished. Once that's finished and we have the next save going, you're going to see a lot more focus on who are the young players, who are the established players, and it's going to be a little bit more interesting. For now, though, this is just for fun. Gallagher gets it back from Meza, over and finds Bowden. Bowden's got a cross. Well, I guess he doesn't. Mutenya now with it, and he crosses over to Cornelson, and that's kind of lumped around like we're playing pinball in there, and it is Tillman for Arkansas State who gets it over to Bermudez. I'm not quite sure how to say that name, and that is the end of the highlight. Bowden needs to cross it there. I'm not quite sure why exactly this is a highlight. He needs to cross it there first time. Cornelson had a shot at it, but there was a defender right in front of it. I mean, it was an idea. It was good, right? Good try, as they say. Williams with it, passes back to Cook. Cook with the ball now. Cook walks it up over to Williams. Williams now finds Rocha. Rocha takes a shot, and once again, it's back up there. I'm telling you, if you put the goal back about, 10, 12 rows and put it up a little bit, Rocha would score, 15 goals a game. He'd be awesome. Cook with it, lumps this one forward to the defender. Good job, Cook. It ends up with Tillman, but Meza, who's already on a yellow card, sort of fouls him, and there's no call. That one ends up with Cornelson, who again lumps it back there into the student section. So maybe there's some, I don't know, like cute girl or something he sees up there. I don't know what's going on, but for whatever reason, they've decided that that's the right way to play. Bermudez passes back to Cho Young-suk, and that is knocked over everybody's head for another goal kick. See, they have the same problem that we do. Maybe that's something that happens when you convert these teams from American college football teams to football manager teams, right? We're all trying to kick field goals. And this is about to be the end of the match here. Bernal knocks this one forward, looking for Tillman, can't find him. Cook's able to get it. He goes over to Gallagher, and then unfortunately for us, it is intercepted. This one does go to Tillman, but fortunately for us, they have tried to lump the ball forward to a non-existent player. Gallagher takes it, passes to Bowden. Bowden over to Meza. Meza is stripped of the ball, and that's the end of that. It is Lara with it now coming the other way, and he's got a big run. And fortunately for us, we're able to sort of knock the one out, though, honestly. I mean, looking at where he took that shot from, which was like up here, we might as well let him take the shot. Bermudez, now it is Bermudez, and Korn is able to run over and grab onto that one. And yeah, unfortunately for them, we do have a pretty good goalkeeper that will keep this match from getting too far out of hand. I can see that Matt Williams is absolutely broken and is tired, but I'm going to keep him out there anyway because I'm just that kind of guy. Here's Cornelson, who finally scores his first goal, but he's offside. And that was a little bit ridiculous, wasn't it? It was not a bad idea, not a bad thought, but again, we need to learn how the offsides rule works here, and it was an idea. Actually, I'm sorry, that wasn't a goal. That was out and off the side of the goal. It should have been a goal, really. I think maybe he was onside. So, yeah, there's a lot that we need to learn. Gallagher goes back and gets this one, passes to Bowden over to Meza, who's throws it, knocks it back to Korn, and we have to be careful we don't accidentally score an own goal. Williams with the ball here. He passes to Rocha. Rocha up forward to Bowden. Bowden knocks it forward to Cornelson, who's offside. Yep, and that one at least went in the goal, so that was something. But Cornelson was offside the whole way. And again, I mean, normally, if this were a normal save, I would be like, let's get rid of this guy. Let's go get some players who can play. But we can't do that because we only have 4 transfers a year, and we can't sign any foreign players, So I don't know, man. I mean, I just play with it. I just play the game. I didn't create it. But if you are a budding and want to be editor data file creator, keep this in mind. Gray is able to knock this back for Arkansas State, and then Tillman is fouled poorly by Gallagher. It's got to be a red card. That is a straight red. So we have 2 red cards here in 2 games in a row. And boy, this is going to be fun. What are we going to do tactics-wise? So, I mean, do we want to actually just keep 2 of these guys here? I think that's probably what we do. We move them on over. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Confirm changes, and let's move forward. And let's see if we give up 3 goals here in 4 minutes. Probably not. Williams with the passes it to Cook. There's nobody in defense. Over to Meza. Meza forward to Bowden. Over to Chavez. And we're going to sort of ride this one out, aren't we? Chavez with it, passes to Meza over to Bowden. Bowden knocks it forward, and he can't get the pass along. There's Tillman with it, passes it up forward to Dean something or other. I can't really see his name. The Greek player, and it ends up with a shot on goal that is wide. BYU is going to end up winning this, and we are going to get the clean sheet despite the fact that Chris Gallagher just had an absolutely awful tackle there. I mean, that was ridiculous. Meza over to Cornelson now, over to Rocha, and he's passed to Garcia. Garcia's got a cross, and he crosses it backwards to Chavez, and Abraham Chavez scores this goal, and it's 3-0 BYU. And that's going to be the end of this one. So once again, we go down to 10 men for the second game in a row. We have scored now 5 goals with only 10 men. I think that's a sign that maybe the tactic is pretty strong. I mean, this is pretty funny. And I mean, how is it that Chavez is that wide open? What are all these other Arkansas State players even doing? I mean, they're all behind the play. What are you going to do? You're just going to sort of look at him. Are you going to yell out his name or something, right? I mean, we had more attacking players forward than they had defenders. Bermudez now with it, and Amutenya with a very, very good play. I thought there was going to be a penalty, but it wasn't. BYU ends up with a win, 3-0, and all is good, all is happy, and we've won once again. XG of 3.3, 21 shots, 9 on target. We did a good job. We had about 70% of the possession. And please excuse me as I leave, but I got to go downstairs and make sure that my dog and cat don't go crazy. I'll talk with you later. We'll see you tomorrow with another game. Bye.